So I close this video now, completed, on the subject of abuse. I plan to post it possibly after I've eaten. So I'm eating healthy. I may do a short video and post this tomorrow evening. And it's now Tuesday, so I'm looking forward to posting a video of me clearing the rubbish outside my front door, doing little mini videos of 20 seconds long as public witness, how I'm recovering compared to those how they're abusing, and removing my recovery, removing my rights. So what I'm doing is using this as a tool, not as a weapon, and what they're doing is looking to use my internet and weaponize it against me. I'm Maya Maria Marina, still going to be known as Mima Her Punch. Whoever's listened, I appreciate you listening to me. I appreciate you trying to understand, as a conclusion, how I'm trying to strengthen my muscles, hopefully go swimming regularly. You try to understand how it's not an equal and fair society for the unemployed and the crippled claiming state benefits. You've tried to see the difference between the villain and the victim. In closing this video, you've tried to say it is wrong to call a fat woman a hippopotamus. It's different if I make a joke of it compared to those who want to make a joke out of me as an insult. Sleep is important to recover. Anyone who deprives me of my sleep for my well-being is an abuser and a fake, false fraud. Who is either a professional or a false friend, because sleep is important and drink is also important. Not to have any adultery, casual, loose sex, open sex relationship is important for my life. How am I supposed to know all this unless I have experienced it? That there are false marriages, so I could be married to an atheist who is treating me like a prostitute, not his wife, which is a devil. Keeping me hostage in my home, which is part of humanism. How they discredited me and disserviced me. Hostage in my home or hospital. How they're looking to haunt me and take away my life, including my photography, and they're looking to find a way to condemn me, to say I should have never used that app because it's for a certain group of people. Then why don't you put it in small print that it belongs to a fascist, or it belongs to Hitler, or it belongs to a tyrant? Don't use this app. You've learnt by listening to this video, my audience, about immigration, that I've migrated to England since I was 7 years old, and I was hit by a car. So my left leg, my left arm, there's a scar here, was broken. My pelvis was broken. My left arm and my right leg was broken, and they knew my parents were not looking after me. They behaved the same as gangsters. The government knew all this. They also know I'm surrounded in my home where I am now, being stalked and spied, treated as a victim rather than a villain. I want to be able to turn it around and say, well, I should be the one who's the victim against the villain. I mean, I should be the villain against them, and they should be the tyrannical victim. But I can't do that, because then that will make me the same as them, as an abuser for bullying my bully. So there are other ways to bully the bully without actually spilling blood and without actually being incriminated, to go to prison for emotional support and mental health to be able to bully the bully in other ways. There are other ways. That's another thing I'm imminently looking to do, to stop the authorities incriminating me, demoralizing me, and dehumanizing me. So not only is it sexist, it is racist, it is a dragon, it is a devil, it is a created disaster crisis, it is a dinosaur, it has an itchy foot, it's an abuser, it's no laughing matter, it's very serious. It is looking at my income, it is looking at my social life, it is looking at my home, it is looking at my personal documents, it's looking at when I migrated, which was age 7, it's looking at my family, it's looking at who I know, who I don't know. And all of this is a gangster versus the government. It's the old devil and the new devil I'm up against. And all of it, all of the notes I have written here on my sticky notebooks is to live a lie, falsehood, and a pervert gets to have more human rights. And the public, general publics and taxpayers don't realise this. So this is what I'm putting out into the public to say, it's not funny. I'm not laughing. I'm not being. It's not a laughing matter where I'm being hilariously funny about the high class flying career individuals. It's not funny. It's inequality. It's bad faith. It's destroying somebody's confidence. It's a disposal of the poor society. It's a populist situation of destroying an individual. It's groupthink rather than a single mind. It's indirect and direct abuse. It is everything to do with corruption, impurity versus purity. It increases my suffering and my problems, pain. It is an unfair challenge. Everything about an abuser is unfair. It forces me to be inserted by injections and drugs, the same as drug pushers, through the mental health services or any other hospital service, to say I'm not in control of my own health package. So they could harass me like that, to say that I have to do what the hospital says or else they'll take away my benefits from me. If I don't have enough money to go privately, which is another thing that they're looking at, say we're going to remove your benefits if you don't go and have your operation done on your back. That's bullying, because if I decide to go privately, I can then choose. But they're saying I'm not allowed to go privately to have my surgery on my spine, because if I do, I'm not allowed to, as I don't belong into that category of the class. So it's a class war. Even if I was married, they would still know my history and still say it's a class war, because I'm married to a rich man. It's still a class war. So they're not helping us with the supply in our society. They're harming the poorest people, authentic people. So if I was to design my own website or design my own dress as a dressmaker, for example, I would be totally destroyed as a small business because of a certain class distinction. They don't like the working class or something like that. They only want a factory or manufacturing. So I think that if none of this happened, none of this should have ever happened to me. I should still have the choice, the freedom of speech and my freedom of religion, without and be responsible for my freedom of speech and freedom of religion without somebody else surveilling me or treating me as if I'm still part of the nut house when I'm not. I've been discharged 5 years ago or 4 years ago, And I could choose my own apps, choose my own films, choose my own watching entertainment, what I watch, what I do, without anyone who is a stranger telling me what to do and what not to do. And this is what's happening currently, and it should not be happening at the moment. And I want to be able to catch these criminals. That's how I close this video now. And hopefully my audience has listened to me, and this will go further to be investigated and to have more balance rather than extremism in society. Because I don't hate someone for no reason. I hate what is evil, and I've given the reasons why I think it's evil. It's just finding the evidence that's very difficult for me as a disabled woman. Finding that evidence, and even with the evidence, it's almost impossible